So I guess we should just very quickly address the gap, acknowledge the gap.
Mind the gap.
Oh, he went there.
Welcome to Frackulous, a technology podcast for humans. Episode 329. Headphones, digital detox, and a brief history of time.
David, are you rolling?
I'm rolling camera and I'm rolling sound. Gonna sync clap me.
Cool. Jeff.
And rolling. Hi. Whatever that does.
Everyone is rolling. Cool.
I think it's just a big round of applause because we finally, all three of us, been able to manage to. No, don't clap. You'll spoil the edit. You'll spoil the sync. But yes, it's only been what, 6 months?
I think it's about 6 months
since we recorded. Wow.
I blame Brexit.
It is because of Brexit.
Yeah.
Don't use that.
Well, at least there aren't any new elections coming along soon to spoil things for us, eh?
It's all fine.
Oh, Will, old Jeff, I've missed you.
Yeah.
And that's his response. Yeah, I missed you too, Dave.
Will, have you ticked off your tick list?
I have. I did it while I was waiting for you to come online, Jeff.
Well done.
So I guess we're here to intro the stuff we've already recorded.
About 7 months ago.
We did record it 7 months ago, but it's still just relevant.
I'm not going to lie, I can't remember what we were speaking about 7 months ago. I think headphones came into it.
We had headphones, and there's only been one slight change in the headphone landscape since then, so that's good. And then we had Jeff's digital detox, so we still have that. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
No.
You don't remember detoxing?
That was like September of last year.
So I guess we should just very quickly address the gap, acknowledge the gap.
Mind the gap.
Mind the gap.
Oh,
Now I've been moving a house. David, you've been quite busy as well.
Well, yes and no. I'm not going to lie. It's been feast and famine for me over the last 6 months or so. I've been away quite a lot. I've done a few shows away.
You did the photo show recently again.
I did the photography show. Yeah, that's my favourite gig of the year. We did things a little bit differently this year. And whereas we used to do lots of live streaming to big screens with lots of heavy kits and a broadcast van, this year we did Facebook Live more than anything else.
Oh, really? It's all about the live.
Yeah. It was all about the Facebook Live, so replacing big shoulder-mounted Sony PMW 350s and broadcast trucks and all the rest of it with a smartphone and a consumer microphone.
So you're not doing anything clever, trying to take a pro camera into a computer, you're just literally smartphone and go.
In this instance, yes, that was exactly what it is. Now, I have seen some other setups that I'm looking at the moment because I think there's a bit of potential here for a bit of professional live streaming, particularly Facebook Live, because it combines what marketers like so much, which is social media interaction with, live video content to create buzz at an event. So I think there's a way of bulletproofing it to make sure that it works wherever you are, whatever your network connection is, gives you decent video quality, yet still feeds straight into the Facebooks and the Periscopes and stuff. I think it's all good.
And Jeff, you've not been doing much recently, have you?
I've been slowly building up my own YouTube presence.
You're on how many subscribers now?
See, on one hand it sounds like pathetic, and then on the other it sounds like a milestone. So I just passed 20,000, which was a nice little milestone. And as far as I'm concerned, it's well on my way to 100,000. I think 100,000 in YouTube terms is when you sort of first earn.
I mean, even 20k, because you only really started seriously back in the summer.
Last August, yeah, around my birthday, I thought, right, let's actually do the YouTube thing.
And where were you when you started?
What, physically?
You already had a base of subscribers.
Around 3,000 or 4,000.
Right.
So really I've gained around 16,000.
But how long did it take you to get those first 4,000?
Oh, I released an occasional video every few months or so over 3 or 4 years, but I wasn't really making a concerted effort.
So in 9 months, you've put on around 16,000.
Yeah, and the rate by which it's increasing is definitely increasing. And I can say, and this is the thing which everybody says, so I'm not the first one to say this, the more videos you put out, the more subscribers you get. In the famous words of somebody very famous, just keep uploading and people will come. Because I think the Google algorithm says, oh, look, you're uploading more frequently than this other channel over here, will push you as a recommended video, and then that gets you a subscription. So yeah, I can see why if you upload every day a quality video, it still has to be sort of interesting or watchable. If you do that every day, then yeah, you'll get the subscribers. So I'm trying to do at least one a week, sometimes a little bit more. Like last week I managed to put out 4 in the space of a week. Just things happened. I was like, okay, I can put out 4 this week. This week I only put out 1.
Any other plans to produce regular content in the next 3 months?
Not really.
You've got nothing in the diary.
Doing a little documentary. Will, you seem to know all about that. Is that what you were getting at? Sorry.
You're just going on a bit of a train journey, a little one.
We decided to go down the YouTube route completely and take the ultimate. Again, I have this Venn diagram of trains and social skills, and if you bring them together in the middle, I'm that little bit there that somehow makes nerdy things quite fun. So me and the lovely Vicky are spending the summer of 2017 travelling around the entire country of Great Britain, travelling to all 2,563 stations, and we're essentially vlogging, but we're calling it a video documentary. It'll be interesting to see how it's edited, how our editors decide to edit it. Will it be vlog style or sort of more thematic TV film-esque? But there will be hopefully almost daily videos for several weeks this summer. You should all watch and tune in. Will has already put a link in the description down below.
There will be a link below.
There will be a
and
link.
Are you visiting Manchester?
No, we're doing all the stations apart from Manchester.
So how many stations are there, Jeff, that you're going to...
2,563 stations in Great Britain.
And this is a time challenge, isn't it?
It's not a time challenge. We think it's going to take around 3 months. But if it takes 4 months, then we could just keep going until we actually do it. It's funded by a Kickstarter campaign. So we raised £36,000. Thank you. There's probably people watching this that watch my own videos that contributed. And again, it's
I contributed.
Including you, David.
Yes, I did. And
You're in Frackulous. You're not watching it.
I've adopted a station, and I will be getting a signed photograph from somewhere, from my station maybe.
Yep.
As part of that.
So please watch all the stations this summer as we conquer the railways of Great Britain. Yes, so I've been busy planning that, so that's what I've been doing.
How about you, Will? What have you been up to?
I've just been moving house. I've literally for 9 months been moving house.
For some reason, Will, it looks like in an American all good American sitcoms have a scene where they go, your father's down in the basement getting the old, contraption out, and it looks like you're in that kind of American style basement.
It is an American style basement.
Sitcom.
It doesn't have a sofa yet or a telly. I've literally spent the entire bank holiday weekend hoovering. We've had to buy a new Hoover. That's how much, 30 years of dust and dirt and rubble.
You can just empty the bags.
It's full. So I started with our backup Hoover, and I turned round, and not only it basically filled the entire basement with fine brick dust because it was a really bad Hoover. It set off a smoke alarm.
Do you really have a backup Hoover?
Yeah, of course.
Listeners, viewers, this is what Will does. Will has a phone, and he has a backup phone, and he has a home broadband provider, and he has a second one as a backup. What you need to know about Will in his life, he has a second one of everything just in case, and this apparently extends to vacuum cleaners. So
of course it does. We now have 3 because I now have my backup, and my main Hoover. So we promoted the Dyson because it was the only one that could handle the dust down here, and then I had to buy a new one because it got so full. Here's the thing, if you have a backup Hoover, you can clean one Hoover with the other. It's like a symbiotic relationship. How else do you clean a Hoover other than with another Hoover?
There's an episode of Friends, isn't there, where Monica is cleaning her
with
big Hoover
smaller
with a
and
little
smaller
Hoover.
Hoovers.
And it's like, if only there were what are the dolls you get, like the Russian dolls? If only there were a smaller version of this one. Many years ago, when I owned a house and I had a new kitchen put in, one of my neighbours said, the greatest tip I can give you about when someone puts a new kitchen in, it makes so much dust. Go and buy a cheap £50 Hoover and use that to clean up the mess. Otherwise, you will just...
Because it will just spurt out dust, it doesn't capture it. It just moves it around.
And so we used a cheap Hoover just to clean up all the debris from the dust from the kitchen, and now kept our good Hoover. Are you going to have to bleep out the word knackered, or is that okay?
I'll see.
We've got 2 Hoovers. We've got a Hetty and a Dyson Dustbuster.
I thought you were going to say Henry there for a second.
Well, no, we
pesky Henry Hoovers.
We've got the pink version of the Henry, which is the Hetty.
Oh, is that what that is? A Henry? Okay, right. Welcome to Frackulous, the show where we talk about our domestic arrangements for the last 6 months. In my rented property, we've had some new locks put on the front door. Oh, I had new blinds put in on the windows. There we go.
I've got 3 minutes on my card. Just
Are you going to change cards in 3 minutes' time? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying I'm not recording beyond that.
This was just going to be an intro. I told you this would happen as soon as the cameras roll, and we haven't spoken like this for 6-7 months.
This isn't a real recording.
Will, you should put this out just as a separate show. If this was a Friends episode, we'd call it the one where no one talks tech. Okay, come on, do it. The one where, come on.
But it's an intro to the existing.
I'm going to talk tech. Look what I've got.
I've got 2 minutes. Do they all know what happens when a C100 hits the end of its card?
You're going to find out.
Probably stops recording.
I haven't got any tech, but I've got a YouTube pillow. Can you see there?
I've got 1 minute.
Okay, should we say goodbye and intro the next step then?
I think we should. So we will be back with a full episode when we can get Jeff off a train. And until then, here's what we recorded earlier. Okay, I'm gonna stop it before it hits the end.
This episode of Frackulous is brought to you by Casper, the company devoted to human sleep. Humans, you are weak. Your frail bodies need to lay down every day for many hours until you are able to function again. To help you address your mortal shortcomings, Casper has engineered the perfect mattress that combines high-density memory and premium latex foams to create a sleep surface that contours to your body and keeps you cool and balanced through the night. Casper removes unnecessary humans in the value exchange process and sells direct, so you get a premium mattress at a fraction of the price. Because you are unable to accurately assess risk, Casper will let you sleep on the mattress for 100 nights, and if you are not satisfied you can return it, and they will even send a fellow human to retrieve it from you for free. Prices start at $500 for a twin and $950 for a king-sized mattress. To get $50 towards any mattress purchase, go to frackulous.com/Casper and enter the code 50sleep so that they know that we sent you and to show your support for the show. Terms and conditions apply.
So next up, headphones.
Oh, good. It's like I came prepared.
It's like you came prepared. So obviously,
Should we do it on 3?
Ready on 3. Everybody count in.
Who's going first? Are you going first, Jeff?
No, we'll do 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, I've got far too many to hold up. I've got like 5 pairs.
Why have you got 5 pairs? What? You're just insane. What?
Well, I've got good reasons. Oh. But let's you first, Jeff.
Count us in, David.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Headphones, please.
So the rationale for this section, can you hear me now? You've got your headphones on.
What? I can't hear you.
Sorry, what's that?
Sorry. Sorry. Will, speak up.
So the rationale was obviously we use headphones probably more than many people for work, in addition to leisure, and tying in with the headphone jackless iPhone 7, I thought now would be a good time to run through the headphones that we use on a regular basis and what we like and don't like about them. So, Jeff, what are your go-to headphones?
My friend Stephen, years ago, who is a sort of keyboard music recording professional, when I was about 17, I was round his flat home / studio. Is
this the one who's in your vlog?
Yeah. And he passed me a pair of headphones and I put them on and I thought, oh, these are comfortable. Oh, they sound good. And he went, oh yeah, they're Sennheiser. I wouldn't ever buy anything. He said, I'm not saying I'm biased towards any kind of headphones, but I'd only buy headphones that begin with S and rhyme with Sennheiser.
It's a good plan.
Yeah, I then bought a pair. I think they were the SD470s, and you know, because he's my friend and you respect your friends, basically at that point onwards, I became a Sennheiser junkie. So I've never, ever bought a pair of headphones that isn't Sennheisers ever in the rest of my life, and because they just make good headphones. So I've got a pair of HD 202s on my current.
And you use those for video work and for listening? Do you listen to stuff on the go on those?
Yeah. I've actually got a spare pair of these. And what's annoying about these is that if you watch, these do come up.
Ooh.
The headphone pieces actually come out quite easily.
Yeah.
You see, they break off.
Right.
But so I've got a spare pair, but they're light enough so I can put them on my camera. And they're good quality enough. So if I'm listening to music, you know, when I'm traveling, then they're really good. I would only ever recommend. I have tried other headphones, and Sennheiser just make the best headphones. They just do. That's it. And that's not a paid endorsement. That's just my opinion. I've always wanted to say that Sennheiser have not asked me to make this statement. That's just my personal opinion.
In among my 5 pairs of headphones I use on a regular basis, one of them is Sennheiser.
Yay!
These are the HD25s. So these, for me, I used to be a DJ, and these back in the day, back in the late 90s, these were the go-to DJ headphones. And I remember the review of them in DJ Magazine basically said it was like having 2 loudspeakers strapped to your head. They've got this nice padding on the cups. They also have a split band, so you can adjust them, so you can get the right fit for your head. They don't go anywhere, and DJ, important thing, one of the cups rotates. So you can have them on, and you can have one of them off your ear for monitoring. But also great, I use these for recording. So if I'm filming...
But do you now suffer from tinnitus, Will?
I don't, because I turn them down. This is my thing about having loud headphones, is you have loud headphones so you can turn them down and only turn them up when you need to. The other great thing about these, and I said these are about 10 years old, every part on these is replaceable. So the cable is replaceable.
Like the foam, the drivers.
Everything comes off. Yeah, the only thing I've replaced is the actual foam. So, David, I think you've got a pair of these as well.
I do indeed. I've had these for about 4 or 5 years now, and they're still as good as new. And pretty much every TV sound recordist that I know also has these as well. They are the standard for ENG, for news crews and so on.
If I'm doing an edit and I really need to go into the edit, put these on, get rid of the world, get going. The only problem with these over summer is they're so hot for editing in, so you can only do about an hour and then you have to take them off again.
I'm always amused when you see somebody, and I saw a guy on the train home tonight wearing, I think it's the HD 200 or the 210s, and instead of having black backs, they got like a silver bat, and they're in such a shape they make you look like a Cyberman from Doctor Who. So I call them the Cyberman headphones. You look like... Seriously, next time you see someone wearing them, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's what Jeff means. It's the Cyberman headphones. But they snap too easily because they're not very flexible, so they break.
So David, what's in your headphone bank?
I've got 3 pairs to show you. You've already talked about one of them, the HD25 2s. Like I say, very widely used in the industry. I have these permanently by my edit station here, and this is what I'll use when I'm sat at my computer, wanting to shut the world out, wanting to do some edits. And you do hear stuff that you just don't hear otherwise when you're wearing these. I've got some decent speakers, some Bose 2.1s in here that are great for pumping up the volume and listening to music, but if I'm doing an edit, then it's be these that I wear. The ones I've got around my head right now, these are wireless. These are Bowers & Wilkins P7 wireless. Now, I bought some P5 wireless about 5 years ago. I bought them as a birthday present, and they are... Sorry, not P5 wireless. I bought the P5 wired on-ear headphones about 4 or 5 years ago for my birthday. Spent actual cold hard cash, a couple of £100 plus, I think. Very, very good quality. Full disclosure, I've got these on loan because I'm writing a review about them. More about that later, I'm sure. But these are Bluetooth wireless. They are over ear, not on ear. And as a result of that, they're actually really comfortable. And something that I've noticed with on-ear headphones, and I include the Sennheisers amongst those, but also the P5s, is that when they're on-ear, as a glasses wearer, they can do funny things with your glasses, and it can get a little bit uncomfortable. Whereas when they're over ears like this, speaking for these are very comfortable. They don't burn my ears up, and also my glasses stay on pretty straight as well. The good thing about these is that you can also pop in a normal cable to a 3.5mm jack. I mean, who has those anymore? And that you are going to get better quality, because as much as Bluetooth is good, if you're wanting high quality, high res audio, then Bluetooth is not your friend unless you're going with, aptX, for example.
But that's not supported by iOS.
Exactly. And if you are an audiophile, you may notice that. So the option to go with a cable is good. I like these. The one thing that it does make me realise is that there is still quite a delay. A bit of latency, audio latency, when you are watching something. So if I'm watching a YouTube video or iPlayer or whatever else on my phone, then there is half a second at times. It doesn't seem to be constant.
That's nothing I've ever encountered with Bluetooth, is a delay in the audio. I think there's a way of delaying the video almost to account for the delay.
Certainly on some TVs and stuff, yes, there is a way of delaying that video.
I watch YouTube videos, Casey Neistat. I watch a lot of that now, Jeff. Thanks. You've got me addicted.
Who?
Yeah, you've got me totally addicted.
He's so good. He's really good.
Even David watched one.
I popped my Casey Neistat cherry as soon as it mentioned flying first class on
which he mentioned in his vlog today. It's done.
I know, it's hilarious. It's hilarious because he normally gets like 1 million or 2 million
hilarious,
views.
That's all. Just a million.
And then he got excited. He's like, "Hey, I got 20 million views."
Yeah.
But
he's got a really good ratio
ticket
for subscribers to views. So he's got. When I last looked, he had about 4.5 million subscribers, and he gets about between one.
It's about 50%. Like I've got 50,000 subs, and and we get 20,000 views.
But look, if you look at PewDiePie, he's got 45 million, but he only gets 1 to 4 million views per video.
Right.
So
okay.
I'm not dissing.
But is PewDiePie a bit like Stephen Fry? Everyone follows him by default, but that doesn't mean that they engage.
Anyway, let's carry on with the headphones.
Oh, so there's the B&W P7 wireless. And then if I'm wanting something a bit more lightweight, because I appreciate that walking around the tube or whatever else with these is a bit of a faff, so I've got some Bose Quiet Comfort 20 Eyes, in fact. And these are in-ear jobs. And the clever thing about these is they are actually active noise cancelling. So you've got a battery down at one end. You just flick the switch like that, and it feels really, really weird. On the back, there is essentially a speaker grill, and what it does is that it listens to the ambient sound, it inverts the signal, then plays that into your ear with the effect of cancelling out any of the ambient sound from what goes on in your ear. They're also, they try and isolate noise as well as cancel noise. They're very, very good. If I'm making telephone calls and stuff and I don't want to, be on speakerphone, or I don't want to wear a big heavy pair of cans, I'll just wear these, even in one ear. That's right. And the little voice thing, it's got a nice remote control on here as well. It works very nicely with my iPhone. Only thing I do need to have, because of, as we've already discussed, my Mophie wireless charging case, there is quite a deep hole to the 3.5mm jack. So Mophie gives you a little extension cable that you then plug in here, that then enables you to plug in there.
On my Sennheisers, your cable was able to go through the initial iPhone case, wasn't it? It had a thinner.
Yeah, completely.
I had to hack mine down with a knife, but I can't hack it down enough to get it through the smart battery case. That's just not happening. So they are off limits to iPhone at the moment.
And it's because on a lot of these, quality headphones, they give you a 90-degree jack. Anyway, so that's what I use to listen to stuff, make phone calls with, edit with. I think I've got 3 pretty good, pretty varied headphones there. I'm very happy with them.
So I have 5, but for very specific reasons.
Of course you do. How much do they weigh?
Well, I haven't weighed them. All, I'm afraid.
Yet.
I've mentioned my HD 25s, which I love. They're great editing and filming headphones. For running, I have these, which are the Plantronic BB Fit. And the great thing about these is, one, they stay in your ear really well, but also they're not isolating. So you don't have to worry about missing traffic noises, missing bikes, that kind of thing. They've got great battery life, and they're fairly waterproof. And they're fairly robust. They're kind of like just roll them up, stick them in your pocket, stick them in your ear when you're ready to go. So they're great. And I'll sometimes use these if, say, I'm doing like some odd jobs around the house, say in the garden, that kind of thing. I want to listen to a podcast. I'll stick these on because they've also got easy controls, play and pause control. You press that side, you've got play, pause. Very easy to operate. So they're kind of my running and dirty job headphones. For going into town on the tube, so one of my headphone tests is the Victoria line because it's very noisy.
It is very noisy.
For Victoria line use, I have these, which are the Jabra Rocks. These sound great. They're Bluetooth wireless headphones, but these are the ones that cause me the most problems with disconnections. And these, I think, are the experience that a lot of people have with Bluetooth headphones. That when they work brilliantly, but they will just randomly cut out, and it's so frustrating. And the other thing about these headphones is these are fairly heavy, and they come with these wings, and which are like they're little rubber things that you put on the headphone to make them lodge properly in your ear and give them purchase. It's a great idea, but these come off far too easily. So if you use them and you just take your headphones out your ears, there's a chance they're just going to fall on the floor and you're going to lose them. If you don't use them, they're not as comfortable and they're always pulling on your ear. So that's one of the things I don't like about these. One really nice feature I thought I would like is they're magnetic. So in theory, you open them up and they switch on. There you can see it flashing away. And then when you finish with them, you clip them back together and they turn off again. Only problem is they don't stay together in your pocket like that. They'll occasionally open up. So you still have to turn them off manually. And there was the idea that you could... I'm one for wearing technology as much as possible. And the idea was that when you just paused them, put them around your neck and just clip them together like that. But it doesn't quite work if you have them at the right tension on the back. So it's a nice design, but I'm only probably going to give those 60%. My next headphones are the original Apple headphones, not the EarPod ones, the original ones which were flat. And the reason I like these is for listening to podcasts at night, because you've got the volume control.
Yeah.
And you can stick the volume control in either ear. The other ones are ear specific, whereas the older ones not. And I'm not bothered about sound quality at night. I just want to have a little bit of audio. And then my final ear one is the Moto Hint. And this is probably one of my favorite. This is probably the one I use most. And it's basically a little Bluetooth earbud. Single one, goes in your ear, and you get Bluetooth audio in one ear. And this is very like the AirPods, but there's only one of them. So I was thinking, how would I improve this? This has got about 3 hours battery life. The case has a battery in it, so when you place it in the case, it charges.
They all do that now, it seems, quite a few of them.
Now, I was thinking what I'd actually like is 2 of these in the case, because I only listen to one ear at a time, because I'm listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
And I've had this a year, and it's all of a sudden, it's not charging all the time when I put it in the case. Now, I don't know why. I need to contact Motorola and find out why. But I'm currently having to stick a little bit of cardboard in there, which isn't great, to make sure it gets contact with the pins to charge. So I tried this on the Victoria line, though, and this isn't loud enough. Could not hear the podcast when this was on full blast. So I was thinking, do I want AirPods? I like the idea of them. I like the fact I could switch them over, keep one charging, keep one not. And to see if they were loud enough, I took some EarPods, the ones you get with your iPhone, and tried those on the Victoria line. And on full volume on my iPhone, I could hear those. So I'll be interested to see how loud the AirPods go.
I've been testing out headphone amplifiers because I found, certainly on my HD25 2s, even with my iPhone 6 Plus turned up, the headphone amp in there was pretty poor quality. So I was just writing a review of different headphone amps for iOS that all use lightning connectors because they're digital audio, digital analog converters as well. Certainly does pump it up a little bit more. And yeah, same as you. I mean, I don't travel on the tube quite so much. I travel on mainline trains in and out of London. And when they're noisy, you can't hear anything. You know, it really spoils the quality. So, feel your pain. A little bit more volume's useful.
This episode of Frackulous is brought to you by Audible.com, the premier provider of audiobooks. With over 180,000 titles to choose from, humans like to listen to things. If you're a human, you're probably listening to this podcast right now. Audiobooks on Audible are read by real live humans, often the same ones that wrote all of the words as well. Not only are you hearing the words written by the human, but you get to experience them exactly as they intended. Humans love listening to other humans. It is one of their favorite things to do, unlike Risk, which is good, because Audible is completely risk-free. If you don't like the sounds or words you're hearing, for any reason, you can exchange it for another without asking any questions. To start your free 30-day trial of Audible, which includes a free audiobook download, go to frackulous.com/audible, so that they know that we sent you and to show your support for the show.
Jeff, I've not seen you on Twitter very much lately. What's going on?
Last time we spoke, you were due a digital detox. Talk us through that. What were the ground rules? Let's lay the ground first so we know what we're dealing with.
This is actually very serious. It's very serious. It's so serious.
No, I do want to know. I'm genuinely interested.
I'm going to put my glasses on.
Yeah.
That's how seriously I'm taking this segment of the podcast. So to anybody that's listening and not watching, I'm now wearing my glasses. Gosh.
You sound different all of a sudden, Jeff. What's that about?
Because I turned my phone off for a week. You don't realise how much you use your phone until you turn your phone off for a week. And I would say it has changed my behaviour forever. Dun dun dun.
So what's different? What were you doing before?
Being addicted to Twitter too much. I used to load it up going, hey, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not addicted to to Facebook. And then I found out that actually it's because I spent all my time being addicted to Twitter. And I did not check Twitter or post a tweet for 7 days, and that felt very strange. On a simple level, I did things like I discovered my local library and I had conversations with people. At one point I was on a bus and I had to ask somebody the time because I didn't have a clock or watch on me in any form whatsoever.
Were you not even taking your phone with you?
No. Oh, no, the most hilarious part of the week was I was in Bromley High Street one evening. It was dark and some kids in hoods came through. And Bromley's fine, you won't get mugged in Bromley. But there was a split second in my mind where I totally imagined this scenario where some kids were like, "Oi, mister, give us your phone," innit? And mug me. And I'd be like,
I don't have one.
I'm very sorry, but I'm on a detox this week. I don't have my phone. What do you mean you don't have your phone? I'm like, no, really, I haven't. Look, search my pockets. It's not that I fetch. Do you know what the time is? Because I'm going to miss my train. Just give us your phone, mate. And it didn't happen. But I did imagine this whole scenario of being mugged for a phone which wasn't on me. And then that made me think, should do that more often, just not take my phone. Off the back of that, someone told me what I think was a slightly bullshit story, that they always carried around their older phone with them.
I've heard this before.
It's like having two wallets. You have a wallet you can give up.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of an urban myth. Does anybody actually do that?
It's a big contingency for a very unlikely event.
It is.
Although, to be fair, I could just give them my BlackBerry, couldn't I? And keep my iPhone.
But I noticed it. Well, on the very first day, I did my last tweet on a Friday night. I got up on the Saturday. On the Saturday, me and Vicky went to the shops. We went down to Sainsbury's. Oh, well, two things. Is that one, we went to get the bus. And it's like, how do you check for a bus without a phone? How do you, what? Because it's so instinctive to go to an app. And you go, oh, that's right. You have to just leave in good time and wait. That's what you used to do. It was so weird.
Was Vicky detoxing with you?
No, she had a... No, the irony is, she used to say, you're addicted to Twitter. And sorry, listeners, this is visual only, but my hands are now on screen showing a scale of 0 to 100. And I guess on a scale of never using it and always using it, I was on about 80 for Twitter. And she must be about 50 for Facebook. So I was certainly outstripping her. But now I've dipped down to about 20 for Twitter. So she hasn't changed her behaviour. But because mine has drastically, I'm now saying to her, oh, you're always on your phone checking Facebook. Even though she's doing it at the same level that she was before. We stepped out the house in plenty of time to go shopping, to walk to the bus stop. And as we stepped out, it started to spit and rain. And she went, oh, I'll just nip back inside to get an umbrella. And my right hand instinctively moved to my pocket of my trousers, and it got halfway there, and I thought, oh, that's right, my phone isn't in my pocket, because apparently I can't go for 30 seconds without wanting to check my phone for what? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. It's just so moronic. And then I very quickly, I got out of the habit, and I came back on the train today, and I looked in my carriage, and there were 19 people in my immediate vicinity. 17 of them were looking at their phones. One other guy was reading a book, and I was reading the paper. And we're totally addicted to our phones. I did a spot poll in the Londonist office today. There's 6 people. I went, right, I said, everybody, just think back to this morning. When your alarm went off, how soon was it before you check your phone? Of course, 4 of them went, well, my phone is my alarm.
Yep, me too.
And the other 2 were like, yeah, within 90 seconds, I picked up my phone. And I said, what did you do in the morning before you had a phone in the internet? And people were like, oh, I guess I just put the radio on or the TV. And now everybody just instinctively reaches for the phone. So I set them a challenge. I said, look, tomorrow morning, I said tomorrow morning, see how long, can you go like half an hour? See how long you can go without reaching for your phone. And so I put the same to you boys and to anybody watching / listening. Tomorrow morning, can you not touch your phone just for like 20 minutes? Can you actually do it? And what do you do with your life instead in that 20 minutes?
But then what is the difference between reading a paper and reading a phone?
Because you don't carry around a paper in your pocket all day.
Some people do.
Information to the entire world. But we are utterly addicted to our phones.
But you just don't think that they've replaced TV, they've replaced radio? Because I find there's a cultural difference between some parents who always have the TV on, and we only have the TV on if we're actually watching something. So as you go around to some older people's houses and the TV is just always on, even if no one's watching it.
But even watching TV is more sociable because you're sharing the same screen. If there's 3 of you in the room, and you're each checking your individual devices, that's less sociable.
Yeah, I agree that, yeah, it's...
People sit in restaurants, couples go in, they sit down, and they get out their phone and they don't talk to each other. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. And I'm on a tech podcast, and I'm an advocate of tech, and I love tech and everything that it brings, but we are too entwined with our phones, and you need to step away. And I've been happy to step away, and I didn't miss Twitter. That's the scary thing. I thought, I bet I missed Twitter. I didn't miss it. Since I've been back online, I've just tweeted less, I've looked less, or sometimes I thought, no, I can't be bothered. I'm going to actually have a conversation or talk to someone, have a nap, read the paper, do something else, and I've just been reaching for my phone less, and I do not feel like my life is any worse. I do not feel like I've missed anything, and I don't feel like I'm going to get back into it to the same level that I was before, and I am thrilled that I've had this week off. Thrilled, genuinely thrilled, and I encourage others to try it.
Jeff, Twitter's a conversation just with people who aren't in the room, isn't it? Have you not missed? You said you had some conversations with people who were in the same room as you.
Because I was checking my phone 20 times a day in the 30 seconds that I wait for my girlfriend to get an umbrella. That is ridiculous. I don't need to do that. Just check it once or twice a day.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
I mean, I obviously didn't tweet you because I knew you were on a detox. And I don't know how many of your friends also knew that. Because obviously there's 2 sides of Twitter. There's one, there's just the consuming side where you just let this information pour over you. And then there is the @replies and the messaging and the alerting feature where you are actually having a conversation. And I just wonder, one, did you then go back and check all of your @replies or your mentions?
No.
You didn't check them at all?
So at the risk of sounding slightly pretentious and vain, and I know David will back me up on the whole vanity thing, but because within my small niche world of being famous, and I'm doing air quotes for those that can't see it, you hit a point where you can't reply to every @reply, and I've hit that point because I could just spend all day just chatting to people and then I get nothing done. So a couple of my other friends suggested that I just make a private account that I don't tell everybody about, and then I only give that out to my small number of core friends, level 4 people included, like you will, and then that can be used
level
just
5.
to chat exclusively. That can be used just exclusively to chat to your friends. But I honestly feel different, and I don't feel I still like technology, but I honestly feel like it's been very refreshing and relaxing to step back and not feel the need to go online all the time. The most telling thing, I've saved the most telling thing for the end, is So I checked Twitter a bit on my phone on the few days back, and for the first time in over a week, maybe 10 days, I sat at my desktop and opened up Twitter desktop client, and I just thought, oh yeah, it's the same old people making the same old gags, spouting the same old box, doing the same old links. Oh, I can't be bothered, and I clicked away, and I suddenly had a moment where I was disinterested in Twitter, and then I sat there and went, ooh, that's interesting.
But how did you deal with like email and the other kind of functions? Obviously, Twitter was the main one. I'm sensing you wanted to block.
Oh yeah, so during my week off, sort of like for about an hour, I think like sort of 6 p.m, 7 in the evening, I dipped into email. I replied to any that needed replies, and then I went back out again. I gave out my home landline phone number, including you, Will, who failed to ring me, but other friends did actually ring me.
Well, I wasn't sure whether I should or not.
No, Will, when I give you my phone number, that's an invitation to ring me. Otherwise,
but I was just
I
thought
wouldn't
I
give my
wasn't
number.
sure kind of whether you wanted to just like literally take a step back from all communication. That's the thing. I wasn't. Obviously, I didn't want. I was taking it seriously. Like that's why I didn't email you in your week off, and I didn't reply you.
But the world kept turning, and I don't feel like I missed anything.
I found it quite hard to organise Slack stuff when you weren't there. That was annoying me.
But you have to remember, we all lived and we organised things and we met up and we did stuff before the internet. It's made it slightly easier.
It
but
has.
We shouldn't be sucked in. But we shouldn't be sucked into a world where we think it's essential. Other small things that happened. Is it essential? Well, only if you take away the non-digital alternative. So I wanted to buy a lottery ticket, and I had to go, oh, I actually have to walk down a shop and pay money and get a paper ticket in person because I can't use the app anymore. I wanted to do some banking.
Oh God, I cannot think about doing banking without.
I know. So I walked down to my local branch and did a transaction in person with a teller.
How did you even like validate who you were to the branch?
I have my driving license on me. The one thing I couldn't do is that I had to invoice somebody for some work, and there is an electronic payment system, and I thought, yeah, no, this is a system which has only existed in the age of the internet. So I had to do an invoice, and I thought, crikey, yeah, if I didn't have the internet, I would not be able to do this. So that was the one thing that I couldn't not do using the internet.
And how did Vicky find it when she couldn't text you and that kind of thing?
Well, some of my friends cheated, and some of them texted Vicky and were like, "Oh, can you tell Jeff this?"
Nice.
So that was fun.
That's what I would do.
No, we ended up having more conversations.
But when you're not together, because I would say a lot of communication I have with Beck is over iMessage.
She rang the home number.
Oh right, she actually phoned you.
Yeah, she rang me 4 times during the week. 3 times I was here, and once I wasn't, and then she just saw me later. But that's what used to happen in the 1980s and 1990s, kids. You'd ring someone, and if they weren't in, that was it.
They weren't there.
Yeah, I made an arrangement to meet a friend at 4 o'clock at the station, and I said, and I won't have my phone on me, so you'll have to be there. His train was running late, and so I just had to wait till 4:10, hoping that he was on the late running train, and sure enough it was. And it was like, this is a throwback to 1995. It was an omen to the CD Sony Discman Walkman person that I saw.
Did you take a Discman out with you? Were you tempted?
I should, but it has shifted my perspective, and clearly I'm well aware that I'm on a tech podcast and I make videos and I do tech for my job and I work for a website, and that's fine. But I can honestly say that at most weekends now, I think I'm just going to go phone off, phone down. I don't need to do my phone today. It's okay not to do it, and I would encourage everybody just to do it. And even if David, you're going, oh, but my wife would need to text me. No, just have a conversation with her in the morning. Get her to call you on a landline, or just accept the fact that you don't have to message each other every fucking 30 seconds of the day, and you'll just catch up with that person later.
I've got to send her stickers though.
Don't you start.
I'm annoying Beck way more than I'm annoying you with stickers, Jeff.
I'm going to go down the shop and buy a physical pack of stickers, and when I see my friend, and stick them on their lapels. And that is the 1990s equivalent to sticker packs. Go for, Frackulous listeners, if you try and do 20 minutes of your tomorrow morning without looking at your phone, and maybe try and do a whole day and buy some real life stickers next time you're in W.H. Smith's. Other newsagents and stationers are available for you. It was brilliant.
Can I suggest an app at this point? I know we covered apps earlier on, but there's...
Oh, there's an app that kills your internet connection. Is that the one?
No. So there's an app called Moment. It's an iOS app. There might well be an Android equivalent, but what this does is that it helps you to get a gauge of how much you're actually using your phone, and it looks at a few things on your phone. The only kludge with the current version of it is that you need to take a screenshot every morning of your battery of your app use statistics.
Why can't it save it?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a little bit insightful. It's not as insightful as I guess I would like it to be. And I did it for a few days, probably after our last Frackulous recording, actually, Jeff, when you said that you were going on digital detox. And I have to say, I uninstalled it shortly afterwards because after a few days, just because I was concerned about the battery being eaten up, which was already a bit of an issue on iOS 10. But yeah, take a look at it. If you're curious about how much you're using your smartphone and want to say, is it 10 minutes, is it an hour, then have a look at your battery app usage and take a look at Moment and see if it works for you.
Jeff, do you have any new ground rules on phones based on your week off? How are you approaching your phone differently now? Because I noticed I emailed you about phoning you at 3 p.m. and you didn't get my email till after 3 p.m.
I just found that by not doing things for a week, I got out of the habit of doing them. Humans are I'm a creature of habit. Humans are creatures of habit. So if you're just breaking the habit, just helps. I think I've got a brilliant new rule today, which my friend at work, Zoe, at Zoe J Craig on Twitter, she had this discussion with her husband, and she said, and it was brilliant. She came up with this line. So I give you this line. This will be my closing line for the podcast. She said, if you're with someone, you're married, your spouse, other half, partner, whatever. If the first thing you touch is always your device over your other half, then you know you're in trouble. Profound, huh?
It's very poetic, but I don't take that.
Then you are a heartless David.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I acknowledge that technology and phones and stuff, and it's obviously you're not addicted to the phone. It's the connectivity, and it's not just the connectivity.
Could you totally addicted to? You are addicted to the phone, the connectivity.
Listen to me.
But,
That's not what I said.
I mean society.
That's not what I said. I said we're not addicted to the phone. It's the connectivity to a certain extent, but it's actually the communication. It's the fact that it's how it makes us feel about being in contact with other people or checking to see whether somebody wants to contact us. It's a need within us that are reaching for the phones constantly that feeds, and that's the thing that becomes addictive.
Like getting a like on a tweet or a YouTube video.
Or posting something and then checking back every 30 seconds, every 2 minutes to see how many people have liked it. Completely.
It's like a little hit. It's like a drug. It's like, oh, you like that buzz it gives you. Oh, someone's liked my Facebook post. Oh, no, I'll check again. Yeah, but tomorrow morning I wake up, I'm going to make sure that I touch my lovely fiance and not my fucking phone. Just because that's more important.
I found that by just logging hours on my phone, that stops me wasting time when I should be working, because I can look at my day and go, I've only logged 4 hours. That's terrible. And I think that is the danger with these things. You can get sucked in, and unless you have some sort of checks, you've got to kind of check yourself sometimes. And especially around my kids, I'd really try not to be on my phone all the time when my kids are there. But if they're watching a film, which I don't want to watch, I think it's fine to just dip in and out of stuff, especially if you've been spending an hour doing fun stuff with them without using your phone.
I'm not saying no to the internet and Twitter and connectivity, but yes, I think we've all been sucked into believing that it's the priority in our lives when I don't think it is anymore. And I admit to being a Twitter addict. There we go. Can I go to TA? Tweets Anonymous. I'll form a group. We'll all do a hug.
What are the 10 steps of Tweets Anonymous? Is one of them Facebook?
I don't know. I'm deadly serious about this, though. I know I'm doing it in my normal jocular style.
But are you not worried that something else is going to replace?
Yeah, no. Something else has replaced it. Time to myself, thoughts, breathing, relaxing. Getting a perspective on the world, and not just going, "Ooh, has somebody added me in the last 20 seconds?" Which is what I used to do. That's ridiculous. That's actually ridiculous. Just check Twitter, go to the toilet, and come back and check Twitter. What?
I'd just check Twitter on the toilet. That'd be one.
Aren't notifications good for that, Jeff? So you don't need to check it. It comes and tells you if somebody has added you, so you don't need to keep on opening it.
Don't go there. We're not doing notifications. We're not doing it.
You said watch 2, Jeff. So is this now off the table?
Because I had this thought that maybe if I had a watch, I'd be less engrossed in my device, and I could just be like, I could just sort of answer things quickly with yes or no or tap or swipe. And then I realised that no, that it's even more intrusive, because all it does is just notify you all the freaking time.
Well, you can decide what goes to your watch and what doesn't.
I'm absolutely, resolutely, definitely never ever getting an Apple Watch ever, or any kind of smartwatch, because they're just too intrusive.
But that means you can stay on iOS 9 at least.
I bloody will as well.
Is he going to go straight to 11?
Good luck when some of your apps don't work anymore. They'll make you go there, Jeff. They'll make you go there. Don't you worry.
No, they will. I know. That will be the thing. Yeah. So we'll see.
It's interesting. Again, just after you said that you were doing your digital detox, I was giving a talk, kind of tech talk thing to some members of the legal profession on technology trends, horizon scanning and stuff. And I, just after you got back on Twitter, I tweeted out the cartoon that I used in that presentation. So the first drawing of the cartoon is a big man on a small phone saying, check my email, do this, do that, order me a cab and whatever else. And it's painting the picture that we are completely in charge of our phones, of our devices. We are the master. And then the second one is captioned the reality, and it's got this big phone and this little man saying, charge me, put me on some Wi-Fi, answer my notifications and whatever else. And I think that describes very, very well where we're kind of at. Who's the master and who's the servant here in the human smartphone relationship? We would all like to think, I would like to think, I do think that that light has just blown, but I'm going to just move this little one over here.
The answer is, like everything in life, in terms of like how much you should drink or how much you should eat or exercise, just do it in moderation. Don't go full on technology, but I'm not about to join the Amish either. I'm just going to keep it somewhere in control in the middle, and that's obviously the sensible way to go.
Am I allowed to at you on Slack? That's what I want to know. Am I allowed to do that still?
You can still at me on Slack, but don't expect me to reply immediately or even on the same day.
That's all right. As long as I know you're going to get it, I don't care. And if I email you...
Will, you're level 4. You can iMessage me. Just don't use a sticker.
All right, no stickers deal.
Boys, I've really enjoyed this. That's probably like the most serious I've ever been on a podcast.
It's good.
What the flip, man? Hey, you don't have to buzz the word flip, do you? Flip, 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 flip.
I might do anyway, just for comedy value.
What about flip can? What? Don't bleep out.
But no one
flip.
will know what you're saying.
FLIP.
Guys, all my devices are running out of batteries here.
Oh.
Do you know what that means, Jeff? Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to have time for your Catherine Parkinson anecdote.
What? No. Oh.
End of Frackulous. If your puny human minds can handle more, then follow on Twitter. @FRACKULOUS or individually. @David McClelland. DAVIDMCCLELLAND. Jeff Tech. GEOFFTECH. Will Head. WILLHEAD. Email your brains to hello@frackulous.com. Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on baby, do the locomotion. I know you'll get to like it if you give it a chance now. Come on baby, do the locomotion.
Right, so here we go. Jeff, September of last year, are you still digitally detoxed, or 7 months on, are you now more connected than ever?
Definitely I've refined my connectiveness. So after my week off, what I did is that I quite often now at a weekend, usually on a Sunday, Saturdays are quite social days. Sunday is quite often now phone off day. I might check my messages in the morning just to make sure there's nothing desperately urgent or life-threatening in my family to respond to. And then I go, no, right, phone off. I just put my phone down for the day, and it's quite nice not to be doing that all day.
Do you turn it actually off?
Yeah, and then put it up on a shelf out of reach, so it's hard to get to.
You should put it in the freezer. You know, like with credit cards, you're going to put them in the freezer, and then if you really want to spend...
Car keys as well. Car keys in the freezer.
Would that not do damage to a phone if you froze it?
I'm sure it'd be fine. Put it in a Tupperware.
That is something I remember from physics at school. The way to tell if an electrical component is failing is if you chill it, if you make it colder and it starts working again, that shows you that your electronics there's a component that's breaking. That's a thing there. So actually freezing a device might make it run faster or better.
Yeah, there's lots of physics behind cooling things and making them perform better for sure. As I seem to remember from building PCs in the 90s.